Yukari Takeba is one of the main characters in Persona 3, and also together with Mitsuru, she's the first future teammate you're introduced with, and at the start of the game, she helps you find your room and school, and it's clear that she's a kind and cheerful person. And because of her personality and looks, she's very popular in Gekkoukan High School. However, she often has mood swings and is often annoyed with Junpei, and they are often teasing each other, and she even gives him a nickname. Stupid Ace Defective. At the start of the game, Yukari can't seem to force herself to summon her persona, because she's distressed that the use of an evoker requires one to mimic the act of suicide. Yukari also has hobbies like archery and acting, and she eventually makes a career of being an actress as Pink Argus. And she likes girly and cute things like maid uniforms, or the choker with heart she's wearing on her neck, or a pink color, and that's also her favorite color. Yukari Takeba's arcana is the Lover's Arcana, and this arcana represents duality, agreement and emotions. People with this arcana tend to have a healing or support abilities, like for instance, Rise being a navigator in P4 and her persona having a lot of supportive abilities. However, despite her personality, Yukari feels lonely because of her family situation. When Yukari was small, she lost her father in the explosion incident 10 years before the events of Persona 3. I'll talk about this more later in the video after it will be more relevant to the story. Many people thought Yukari's father was responsible for this explosion, and they often blame him. Because of that, her mother and Yukari had to often move out, and Yukari clearly never could have any friendships that lasted long, and she became introverted. Anyway, because of Yukari's losing her father when she was 6, she was sympathetic towards the MC, because he himself lost his father, but also his mother when he was small. On top of that, as we progress through her social link, we find out Yukari also has a very poor relationship with her mother due to her lifestyle after her husband died. Yukari's mother is coping with her husband's death by having a countless boyfriends, and Yukari finds this unfair to her dad, and she tells her mom she's running away from life, and it upsets her a lot. In fact, she's so upset by her behavior that during her social link 8, she mentions she's actually anxious about meeting her mother because she didn't see her for 10 years. Yukari slowly starts opening to MC because he can understand Yukari well, since as I say, MC also lost a father and also a mother when he was young. She eventually falls in love with him. She also starts to understand her mother's feelings a little bit more. She understands she cared for her husband, but at the same time, she wants to move on in life. Yukari eventually starts opening more to others too, particularly to Mitsuru. During trip at Kyoto, she manages to connect with Mitsuru after Mitsuru says she has no meaning in life, because her meaning in life was to protect her father, but she could see through Ikutsuki's betrayal, who shot Mitsuru's father, resulting in his death. And Mitsuru's father's death destroyed her will to live, because Mitsuru's biggest desire was to protect her father since she was small. She even awake to her persona because of her will to protect her beloved father. Because of this, Mitsuru is depressed and tells Yukari her life has no meaning anymore. And Yukari bitch slaps her, saying she wants to fulfill her father's wishes to eliminate the shadows and dark horror. And since Yukari and Mitsuru can relate to each other and they also have the same goal, they became best friends, and Mitsuru considers Yukari a very important person in her life. Although at the start of the game Yukari dislikes Mitsuru, maybe because of jealousy, but also because Mitsuru's family is the one that owns Kiriju Group. The same group that's responsible for the explosion incident, which is the incident that resulted in Yukari's father's death. She also doesn't trust her because she thinks she's hiding something at the start of the game. And she's initially unhappy with Fuka Yamagishi joining the SAS because she believed Fuka was forced in joining. But she soon befriends Fuka, and if you choose to play as FMC in Portable, Yukari truly understands how it feels to have a friend of her age in the same gender who understands her and worries about her, making her to start worry more about other people and being worried about her selfishness. Really important part of the story, and even more important to Yukari, is the trip at Yakushima, where we find the truth about the turtle's origin and what happened in the explosion incident 10 years ago. Here, the SAS is watching the only recording of the incident, and the scientist in the recording happens to be Yukari's father. And as you know, this recording is edited, but that's something others don't know. After watching the video, she uncovers her father's role in the shadow experimentation, finding out her father is responsible for the Dark Hour, and just like that, her faith in her father was shattered. Yukari accuses Mitsuru for hiding this, thinking she felt sorry for her, and after that, she runs off to the beach where we follow her and where we calm her down. All of this what Yukari saw was a great shock to Yukari, since she really loved her father to the point where she was practically idolizing him. And seeing everything she believed and fought for was for nothing was a big hit to her. Even after that, Yukari continues to fight alongside Cease, and later in the game, the day after Ikutsuki's betrayal, Fuka obtains the original unedited recording of her father and she gives it to Yukari. In the video, her father says that he wasn't able to stop this madness, that he won't listen no matter what he says, and that he's under the devil's spell, and says not to hunt down the shadows, otherwise they will reunite and that will be doomed for humanity. After that, he pleads that whoever finds this to give it to his daughter Yukari, so he can tell her his final message. In the message, he apologizes for breaking a promise that he'd come back home soon, and he wants her to know that Daily was the happiest man on earth when he was with her, and that he loves her, and that she should take care of herself. After that, the video is cut short after an explosion, and Yukari says that she was right to believe in him, and tells she's doing okay, and she finds her resolution again and awakens to her second persona Isis. Then, at the end of the game, the MC dies and the answer starts. MC's sudden death affected Yukari in a negative way. Yukari lost her father when she was very young, and she had to often deal with other people blaming her father for the explosion that caused many people dying, and she and her mother had to move repeatedly because of this. And as we know, MC is the one that comforts her, cheers her up, and she starts to trust him and opens up to him and falls in love with him. But just like that, the MC died. And Yukari didn't know why he died, and she wasn't able to say at least goodbye to him. But she made a promise to him after he died that she will change the world so the people will stop wishing for the fall. Because of the promise, Yukari is trying to live her life to the fullest, and she wants to move on. She even declines the invitation to the dorm for one last time, because she has a cram school to attend, and out of everyone, she is reluctant to return to the dorm. Only returning when Seth realizes that strange events are happening in the dorm, and she is annoyed by this. Even though Yukari wants to move on, after she realizes they have the ability to come back in time, she wants to come back to the past so she can see the protagonist and stab him, trying to prevent him from dying, and since C's opinions are all different, they agree to fight. After the very sad fight against Yukari and your other friends, Yukari attempts to steal the key from Aegis, but Metis tells her it's impossible to take it. And after that, Yukari admits she just wants to see him and that she made a promise to him. And at the end of the game, she discovers what happened to the MC, and she is finally prepared to move on in life. She also apologizes to Aegis after admitting that she was jealous of her because she obtained the MC's power, and she asked her to live with her in the dorms. They went through all stages of grief, and that's probably the most human reaction from the group in P3. Yukari went through denial at the beginning of the answer. She went from denial to bargain with the group, and after that she became depressed. And finally, in the end, she came to acceptance. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. If you want to see more videos, hit the subscribe button, and if you have something to say, please make a comment. Goodbye.